All right, so now we're going to be covering the basic punching combinations for our orange belt curriculum. With the yellow belt curriculum and the white belt curriculum, we should have a decent fundamental understanding of punches. Now we're adding in a lot of elbows, and we're going to be focusing on a little bit more head movement and some stepping. So the first thing is we're going to do is assume that fighting stance. So I want to make sure that I tuck in somewhat tight. I'm keeping my elbows in, my hands are up, we're creating that shell, our shoulders are up, our chin's tucked in, our knees and our feet are on that distance that we talked about before, and the width of our shoulders here this way. Now you can turn that in. I can keep my toe pointing towards the front this way. I can turn it out. There are talking points for all of those, and we can discuss that later on in other videos. So from this position right here, I'm keeping that nice tucked position. We're starting off with combination number 1, which is going to be jab, cross, elbow. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to throw my jab, cross, 1, 2. Then from here, hand is up high. I want it up as high as I can, so at least my thumb touching the widow's peak right here. I'm going to draw in with my hip and elbow in. Now when I do that, this front foot slides in because the elbow is much shorter than my crosses. So you can see it from the side here. This position, I'm throwing that jab, cross, 1, 2, then hands up. Notice that I'm going to draw in and I'm going to elbow. Now when I elbow on this one, I'm elbowing in on the angle. We can elbow across as well. I prefer the angle because it goes after that eyebrow and that orbital bone. Okay, so on this side, same thing, so you can see motion. Make sure you breathe when you're striking. So it's looking like this right here. Hana. And hands are back up. Notice, especially after a big combination, I always bring my hands up somewhat high. The closer I get to somebody, the higher my hands go. The further I'm out, I can let my hands be down. The closer I get in, the tighter my guard is. Okay, so combination number 1 slowly looks just like this. Hana. Hands are up. And remember, relax your hand when you throw that elbow, and you'll throw that elbow longer. Now when I'm hitting with that elbow, once again, not the tip of the elbow, but this point right here. Just like a bat, there's a sweet spot of that elbow. We're actually hitting on the ulnar side of our forearm. So slowly again, and it's hana. Eyes forward, focusing right here on that chest. Hands are up. We're keeping this guard. So remember, you can put your hands up here or hands up here. If our hands are low, then they're not up, even though we think our hands are up. So that's combination number 1. Combination number 2 is going to be jab, cross, hook, elbow. So we're walking our way in. So we're learning to use our feet first. So we have this guard, and it's walk, 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 walk. Now notice that last one was a little bit longer because once again, that elbow is shorter than my hook, okay? So I'm doing this right here. Nice guard, jab, cross, hook. See how my shoulder's up high? Now from here, I move in and I throw that elbow. Watch this hand when I throw that elbow. So I got that hook here, moving in, and I throw that elbow. Now notice that I'm in a nice guarded position. My chin is down. I'm protecting my head on both sides here this way, and I'm attacking at the same time. One of the things you don't want to do is do this. Heesh, 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 and keep your head up, because what happens is you're not protected. Everybody thinks they're going to be striking people and not being striked back at the same time. So from this position, you can see, same thing. Jab, cross, hook, heesh, elbow, hands are back up. Over here, same idea. Heesh, 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 heesh. Now, make sure you're using the twist of your hips as you're doing this. So I'll show you from the side, I'll show you from the front. It's jab, cross, hook, heesh, elbow, hands are up. Same thing here, and jab, cross, hook, heesh, elbow, hands are up. Keep that position. You can bring your hands up here, you can bring your hands up here. It's what you prefer, and it's based on what the needs of the situation are. So that is combination number 2 for our orange belts. Next combination is going to be jab, cross, hook, elbow. Now we close the gap, we're going to throw a knee strike. And the knee is going to be a spearing motion. So we're in this position right here, same thing. We're throwing jab, cross, hook, twist, 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 elbow forward, hand reaches from here. Watch this motion. 1, 2. I can hook the neck, or I can put my hand to the forehead, cover the eyes. Either way is fine. Okay, hooking that neck I like, putting that hand to that forehead and covering the eyes is fine. But the next motion right here is keeping this hand out, rocking my hip forward, and working on a spearing motion. Heesh! Then guard back up. And notice that after that knee again, I get my hands up. So again, it's right here this way. Heesh, 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 heesh. Guard up. So doing it slow so you can see all of the details. Again, jab, cross, hook, heesh, hands up, heesh. And notice that I rock that hip so that knee should be going this way, not up. This is a major mistake right here. Heesh, 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 heesh. See how the knee went straight up to my chest? That's not gonna hit a thing, okay? It's gonna look good for you when you're practicing, but it's not gonna hit anything. So we're gonna make sure that we're going forward to the person. So we're hitting again, 1, 2, 3, elbow, knee strike. Knee strike is called Muro Chigi. We have our Hapkido Chigi here, we have our Muro Chigi here. So it's here, hish, 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 and stands. So slow, last time, okay? Jab, cross, hook, elbow, see that twist, hands are up, I got that straight line path, hish, and hands up. So now, after that combination, we have the next one, which is an uppercut. Okay, so we learned to throw that uppercut, a hook, and an elbow. So what we're assuming is we're already starting from a slip position. So we worked on our slipping in that last video. Remember, we use our hips. So I push my hip out, bring my left shoulder in, push that hip out, bring that right shoulder in. You can keep your hands here. I like to move my hands in a slight T. Either one of those are fine, but we're gonna slip first. So we're getting to this position here, and we're throwing that uppercut up the line, keeping our shoulder up high, keeping everything focused. Then we're throwing a hook next. Now we're coming in, throwing our elbow, keeping everything tucked nice and deep in. So again, this looks just like this right here. I'm throwing this position here, getting that slip, throwing that uppercut, throwing that hook, throwing that elbow. So again, it's right here. Roll, roll, roll. So roll, 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 roll. Now remember, our hook is longer than our elbow, so we have to bring our foot in a little bit further. So you can see it from the side. I'm here, and it's roll, roll, roll. Hands are up, and I'm guarded up. So again, breathe, shh, shh, or ish, ish. So here, slip, upper, hook, elbow. Now look, roll with your upper, your shoulder up to your chin as you do that. Roll with your hook. Remember, palm in, thumb up, keep that nice straight wrist. Then from here, ish, elbow, guard it back. And notice this motion as I bring it back. If I bounce off, people a lot of times do this, ish, and they look cool, but you drive through here, ish, and I do this with my guard, okay? So, one last time, it's uppercut, hook, elbow. So from this motion, upper, hook, elbow, guard up. And notice, here, not here, okay? That looks cool, it's great for the movies, but we want to drive through. So the next combination is just working on our bob and weave. We worked on our slip motions, now we're working on bob and weave. We're gonna keep it simple, and this is jab, cross, bob, and weave. So we're starting from this position right here, and we throw that jab cross. Hish, hish. Now from here, as we retract our elbow in, so our hand stays up, we're also going to bob. Bob means go straight down here. Now from here, we're acting like there is a clothesline right here on our shoulder. And we're gonna bob down, come underneath and roll our hip and bring our shoulder up onto the other side of the clothesline. And then we'll do it one more time. Bob down, shoulder up onto the other side of the clothesline. Okay, so I have a clothesline on this shoulder, I go underneath, clothesline on this shoulder, here, then go back underneath and it'll be right back in. So it's bob and weave, bob and weave. And we're just practicing the fundamentals. So from this position, it's hanatol, hish, hish, from here, bob and weave, bob and weave. Now, let me show you a couple things that people do, is they try to weave before they bob. So do this, hish, hish. Okay, they're going off to the angle, we need to go straight down first. 1, 2, I create a U. Straight down, turn, up. Straight down, turn, up. And the idea, once again, is like when people are throwing hooks or a big cross and we go underneath, it should be barely skimming our hair. It should not be missing by a mile. The lower we get, the closer we get to their knees, which is a bad thing, okay? So on this side, right here, it's jab, cross, bob, and weave. So it's hana, hish, hish, under, under. You see I'm rolling my shoulders, keeping my hands up, keeping my chin down, and then we reset, we move. Same thing will show from this position. Yeah, hish, 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 hish. Same, and just practice the bob and weave too. Hish, 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 hish. Notice that my hands aren't dropping. Some people do this a lot. When they do that, this is where your hands should be. Hish, 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 hish. And notice I'm hugging that shoulder, that front shoulder to my chin, okay, and to my cheekbone. So next combination is going to be the last combination for our orange belts, which is a jab, cross, draw, and cross. It's very, very important because this is kind of like that jab, cross, cross in the yellow belt curriculum and the white belt curriculum, but now we're throwing a draw. So what I'm talking about is this. I'll show you the jab, cross, cross first. So it's here, hish, 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 here. Now, maybe they got the timing and they're punching back before we're ready, so we're gonna learn to draw it, okay? And that helps us to roll with things too. So all I'm doing is doing this, hish, hish, step, hish. Okay, now watch this. I let my heel touch the ground and I draw my foot back. So I'm going from here to here. Now, me personally, I like to let this hand out just a little bit, but I gotta keep the shoulder up. Some people like to keep both hands up. What that does is when they keep both hands up, is that the draw back into the punch is a little bit slower. If I can counterbalance this hand out when I do this, I'll show you the motion. Here, this way, then what happens is I can pull myself in faster because I have that balanced out. So I have my weight back just a little bit, but I have weight forward. When I have all my weight back, I'm using my back and my abs and the connective tissue on my hips. So on this side, showing you the position, it's here. Hana to. Now watch this draw. I step my foot down and turn my hip back. Hish. See how my shoulder is nice and high? Then from here, I push right back in. Hish! And set it. So again, slowly, it's here. Hana. Hish, hish, hish. And see, it's just getting my head back. Getting it offline to the point where they think your head's here, and they punch, and your head's here. And that's all we're doing. So here, from this position, it's hana. Hish, hish, hish. And make sure your shoulder's high. That's a very, very big thing to not do, is put your shoulder here low. Keep your shoulder high, that protects your chin. We gotta keep our chin inside of the protective cocoon. So one more time, all three sides. It's right here, jab, cross, and we're hitting our draw step. Hana, hish, hish, hish. Same here, to, hish, hish, hish. And last one, hana, hish, hish, hish. And see how I always bring it back to a good guard. Take your time on these, practice them, not just in the air, practice on the bags. A good set of gloves will do you an amazing service to make sure you're hitting good and hitting with good form. And then we'll cover that in a later video, how to hit the bag. Practice with a partner too. Practice your timing, practice your distance, understand where you are at in relationship to somebody, not just in relationship to the air or the mirror, because those are great tools, but used by themselves and only by themselves are only going to help you to get your butt kicked. All right, so these are the punching combinations for our orange belt curriculum. Thank you very much.